Welcome. The topic for this video is backups. Now I actually don't have a process to show you of how to do a backup because people do backups in all different ways. We have customers who back up to the cloud. We have customers who back up to external drives. There's software that can run a backup through SBC that just backs up our programs. And then there are other customers who want to back up their entire server on a daily basis, so they use an external software program to back up all of their programming. The purpose of this video is to urge you to do and check your backups. We have customers call every year, multiple times unfortunately, or multiple customers per year, call us and say their server was fried, their server has been stolen, their building was struck by lightning, there was a fire, there was a problem, their server just crashed. And when that happens, you can bring your server to an outside hardware business, and they can try and restore the data that was on your machine. Now, sometimes they can get it back. In the case of a fire, they may or may not be able to get it back. In the case of a crash, they may or may not be able to get it back. In the case of it being stolen, there's nothing to get back. We have software that runs on a nightly basis. I'll show you my V1 batch in my demonstration system here. That you can see it says Thursday backup, Friday backup, Saturday backup, and so on. This was set up through SBC. It's set up through our hardware department, and it runs to an external drive connected to your server machine. There is a log that runs to a folder on your desktop that you would double click on. You would take a look. Basically, you're just looking to see that the message says that the backup was successful, and then you're good to go. Now, if that is what you have set up on the machine, you want to take that external backup drive and you want to swap it out daily or weekly if the information isn't that important. But you want to make sure that you have a copy of your backup of your data somewhere available to you that's not right by your server. So if your server is stolen, anything that was connected to it got stolen as well, probably. So if you had your external drive and all of your backups sitting on that drive for months and months and months and months, if that computer gets stolen and the backup drive gets stolen, you're in just as bad a predicament as you were if you hadn't had a backup. I suggest to people that they take a full copy of their SBC once a month. Just add it to your end of month procedure. Grab an external drive. They're extremely cheap now. You can buy them at Walmart. Plug them into your computer. Take a backup of everything. We can help you with what you need to back up. And then grab it and throw it in your safe. Grab it and drop it at the owner's home. Grab it and drop it at the manager's house. Just somewhere that isn't in your office. So if the building burns, if there's a theft or something, if something detrimental happens, you have access to something that's at least a couple of days old. What we're looking to retrieve for you when we're retrieving a backup is your customer list, your part list, as current as possible archive list. We don't want you to have to count your entire inventory over again, but if it's the end of September, the last backup that you have is the backup that's as of September 1st, and it's in your safe, at least we can go back and extract and retrieve for you most of your important information, who your customers are. You might miss a couple of weeks of tickets, but at least there's something to go back to. I just dealt with a customer who had to go back to data from 2012. It's almost not even worth it to go back that far. So this video isn't necessarily to show you how to do anything. It's to just urge you to remember to take a backup, to get your system set up for backups. Whether we do it or whether you go to an external company, doesn't matter. Just have a backup. Make sure that you have a more current backup in a safe or something like that. And then make sure that you check your backup log through whatever software that you use to confirm that your backups are being successful. We've also had customers in the past who have called and said, oh, I run a backup every night, and we go and their backup drive, they're using an old backup tape, and it died years ago, and no one has checked their backup log, so they haven't had a good backup in years, and they just didn't realize it. They were going through the motions, they just never checked the backup log. So make it your responsibility, or come up with an employee, select an employee in your organization whose responsibility it is every morning, every other morning, to come in and check the backup log, make sure that it ran, and pull the backup drive daily or weekly and put it in a safe place. If you need any assistance with this, please call us. We are happy to help with this. Our number is 800-829-4722. You can email us at sbctraining@autolog.com. If you call our office, we're going to direct you to the hardware department, but if you ever mention a backup, we will get you to who you need to get to make sure that you have an appropriate backup for your system and that your information is secure. Thank you so much for listening.